1, 2, 3 ways that we're going to be able to list faster by the end of this video. First up is working with scalable t-shirt designs. I use a lot of scalable phrases on my designs. A scalable phrase is a phrase where you can remove one word and swap it with another word, giving us the opportunity to make hundreds of designs quickly. For example, I'm just a girl who loves horses can quickly be turned into I'm just a girl who loves tacos. I'm just a girl who loves football. I'm just a girl who loves Friday nights. I'm just a girl who loves scary movies. The list is endless. Obviously, you could take this into any niche. And it is a phrase that has sold and is proven to sell in so many places. There are technically two types of scalable phrases. There are vertical scaling phrases and there are horizontal scaling phrases. They are well named. Vertical scaling phrases are when you stick with one niche and you go deep into that niche with lots of different scalable phrases that you can insert that niche specific idea into. So for example, just a teacher who loves her students. Just a teacher who loves coffee. Just a teacher who loves to obsess over data. Here I use the same phrase and hit different types of teachers. Or I could tackle this a little differently. So I've got my topic of teaching and I'm going deep there. I happen to be doing that with one phrase. Now another way I could do that is with various phrases. Not your average teacher. The classroom makes me happy, or maybe a little better, 4th grade makes me happy, kindergarten makes me happy. Eat, sleep, teach, repeat. All I need is coffee and a lesson plan. These are all different scalable phrases that could be used in many niches. So that is to say, if I had a list of, let's say, 50 scalable phrases, I could sit there and do 50 designs that just had that phrase applied to the teaching niche. This is vertical scaling because I'm going deep into one niche. I'll give some other examples of this that aren't teacher related. Some people call me a doctor. The most important, call me a grandpa. Some people call me a real estate agent. The most important, call me a grandpa. So you can see how this phrase could really just be applied to a whole bunch of professions, but we're really targeting the grandpa. This helps me design super duper quick. What about the actual listing part? Since we're vertically scaling, going deep into one niche and doing lots of designs about just teachers, in the example I was giving in the beginning, staying in that same niche, I could pretty much use the same block of SEO. That's my search engine optimization, my title, and my tags that help customers find me. That takes research before you sit down to start to list. So now I already have my title and my tags that I like to use for teacher, and I am only going to swap out a few words for here and there. So if one of them was a 4th grade teacher, I'd make sure that some of my SEO expressed 4th grade, and maybe if I did a kindergarten one, then maybe I just make sure I have some kindergarten SEO in the listing for the design that is for kindergarten teacher. Perhaps the word coffee lover or the word taco lover, I would want to mix that into the SEO for the listing. But overall, it's mostly the same SEO. So that helps on that end. If you jump around niches constantly, you're going to be constantly having to go back and do SEO research. If you do need help with SEO research, I have this video here and I will link it down below. The exact process that I go through when I am trying to come up with the block of SEO, the title and the tags that are going to give my items the best chance to be seen. The other type of scalable phrases are what we call horizontal scalable phrases. This is when you go really wide and you're not staying with one niche. You're staying very shallow, but going really wide. I say shallow because you're hitting a lot of different niches. You're taking that phrase and inserting different words and hitting many different niches. This could be a challenge with the SEO, and which can really slow your listing momentum down. But I am going to share with you the hack that I sometimes use to get this to work for me. The scalable phrases here are the same phrases. We're just going to use them differently than we did when we were using them to vertically scale and go deep within the same niche. When we're using these phrases to scale horizontally, it looks like the first example I'd given when the video first started. Just a girl who loves softball, just a girl who loves tacos, just a girl who loves books, hitting a bunch of different niches. This is not how I would use this because it would just be so much work coming up with all these different blocks of SEO, and the whole point was to list quickly. So now let me show you how I might use this where it would still be mostly the same block of SEO. Just a girl who loves softball, just a girl who loves volleyball, just a girl who loves basketball, just a girl who loves soccer. Now I'm hitting sports. So I'm really kind of staying within that niche. I'm not niched down and just hitting softball. That would be vertical and I'd have to change my approach. But now I can hit all of these different sports, and when I go in to update my SEO in each of these listings, I'll just take out the word volleyball and put basketball instead. So it's a pretty quick fix there. I did create a resource to help you with the teacher niche specifically. If that is something you are interested in, I will leave a link to it down in the description below. I tried to hit every nook and cranny, and it will give you just so many ideas, and it does include some scalable phrases along with a calendar to help you know when all the big dates are to list for teachers. If you think it's just back to school, oh my goodness, are you missing out? So there's just so many super important days to list in order to really get yourself a piece of that teacher pie. You want to be consistently listing it throughout the year. The second way to help you list faster is to copy your listings in Etsy. This saves me tons of time. Your entire listing, including the description, pricing, photos, all of that is copied. Everything. Then all you have to do is delete the existing mock-up photos of the design in the listing, and of course leave your sizing guides and any other types of cards you have there that you are using to help convert your customers. If you're listing in the same niche that the SEO already works for, you can leave it, or you could just take out the little pieces and change as needed. If you're going from like a teacher coffee shirt to maybe a different type of teacher shirt and you want to pull out the word coffee and use that as an opportunity to hit something else, or if you're going into a different niche, then the only other thing you have to do to that listing is to change the SEO and your tags, your title and your tags. But then you could, hopefully you're working within the same niche that day at least, and that'll be the first listing of maybe 10 listings that you're putting out in that niche, and then you could just copy from that one. And most of your SEO is already there. Again, maybe you're just changing the occasional word from 3rd grade to 4th grade or something like that. 3, I tend to list in the same couple of niches often. Now, that's not to say I never try to break into a new niche. I certainly do, but I don't try to break into like 10 new niches during that month. So if I'm trying to break into a new niche, I'm giving it a real try and I'm consistently listing there. And then of course I already have a couple of niches that I already am doing well with, and I consistently keep adding to those niches throughout the year. This is going to make things very quick because of all of the other things I've just mentioned. I can do the vertical scaling with my phrases. My SEO chunks are already there. And I've been asked many times, do I use the same exact SEO? If I do often use the same chunk of SEO and just change a little thing here or there as needed. Especially if that chunk of SEO, that title and the tags that I use in that listing, if it's good and it's converting and it's doing well, I know people are finding my items through those types of tags and through those phrases, then I will definitely use it more. But with that said, it has bit me in the butt before when I've done too many and gone in there and tried to list like 30 things. I try to make it chunks of 10 or 15. Otherwise, while I'm doing the listing part, I'm just getting really tired and it's too much of that activity. And I kind of get lost with, wait, what designs did I have? Where are those designs? Last but certainly, most definitely not least, I A/B test. I do have an entire video about A/B testing. I'm going to keep it brief right now, but if you want to know more, and you should want to know more, you could click on this video right here because I do a deep dive into it. Lately, I've been A/B testing mock-up photos. A/B testing is kind of like a little science experiment that you can run in your Etsy shop. And it is just chock full of information for you. So for example, I do this all the time and I send 2 listings out. A/B testing, you send 2 listings out. Everything about the listing is exactly the same. If you don't make everything exactly the same, you're not going to know what is making the difference for you. You only change one thing and one thing only. So one thing that you could change is the mock-up photo, that first mock-up photo in the front. Maybe you use a live model in one of the listings, and maybe you use a flat lay in another listing. But everything else about the listing is exactly the same. Pricing is the same. If you're running a loss leader, they both have it. The SEO is exactly identical in the tags and in the title. And then you can watch and see how these listings do and see which ones do better. You are going to find patterns. You might find, well, in this particular niche, all of the live model ones are going better than the flat lay. And so then you know, and you have to do the test over and over again. You can't do it once or twice and go, oh, well, this is what works. For me, I have to do it 50 to 100 times. But for you, maybe that's 20 times, whatever it is, but definitely not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. That's not enough information. You have to have many trials of this to really understand what's going on with it. I have been so thankful that I have done this. Not only does it help me get my listings up quickly, because remember, all I do is copy my listing. So once I have one up, it's got the pictures, I hit the little copy button, I change the thing that needs to be changed, whether that's the SEO or just dragging a different mock-up photo to the front. I change the thing that needs to be changed, the thing that I am testing, and then I'm done. I have a second listing. It's 2 for the price of 1 there. I wound up with 2 out there. And I am so thankful I've been doing this because I have learned so much, and it is very rare that both listings do well. It's usually one or the other. So there are listings that have made me $34,000 revenue while the other one made $5,000, or made me $15,000 revenue and the other one never sold not one shirt from it. So this is a very interesting thing to do in your shop, and then you'll know what is working and what to do more of. Not only are you going to get more listings in there, you're going to learn something. So this is probably my favorite way to get more listings in my shop. And just to make sure we all are speaking the same language, I know I used the word loss leader a minute ago. A loss leader is a strategy that you can use in your listing where you have one item that is priced cheap. You might take a loss on that. That's why it's called a loss leader. If they were to purchase that particular item, the idea is to make it a less desirable item for that design. And that is a way that you can get people to click on your listing. The other thing we've been mentioning here is break-even pricing versus profit pricing, and that's a strategy when you first list something to make something break even. It means all of the prices are like bare bones. You're just barely breaking even after your Etsy fees and paying for the production of that with your POD partner, your print-on-demand partner, just barely breaking even. And you might be thinking, well, why on earth would you do that? You're not going to make any money. You only do that for the first couple of sales, maybe 10, maybe 15, whatever you think. And if you're thinking to yourself, absolutely not, then fine, just do it for 2 or 3. But give it a shot because that can really get you worked in the algorithm fast, helping you to make loads more money than you would be down the road at that point. I did do that video here, and I am going to do a video again soon. I did a big A/B test. I tested 100 listings in different niches for pricing, break-even pricing versus profit pricing. And the results were so interesting. I've been meaning to put that video together, and I've got to sit down and do it soon. I just need to pull all of the data from my shop to share with you. But it was just eye-opening, and it didn't all pan out the way I thought it would. If you don't want to miss that, make sure you subscribe if you haven't subscribed already, and smash that like button if you enjoyed this content. Also, if you've done an A/B test, tell me about it down in the comments, or if you're looking forward to me getting that video together that I just mentioned, say something to me down in the comments because that will encourage me to sit down and just get that done. Keep learning with me right here, but not until after that tip from Tucker. Tucker, take it away.